What is going on, guys? Gully Boy back at you with a brand new video, and right about now we about to get on y'all Tupac fans once again. Yeah, okay, let's get it. But no, in all seriousness, this is another installment of people don't listen to the music that they talk about, or if somebody else says, I ain't really like that album. What you mean? The person that's saying, what you mean, didn't even listen to the album. So I'm gonna go ahead and read some comments on my TikTok of people exposing themselves as individuals that don't listen to Tupac's music. First off, we're gonna start off with some fun comments that don't necessarily reflect the concept of this video, but they're still hilarious. Now, one thing that was happening on my TikTok, there were certain individuals that did not understand my point in the review where I said that Tupac took a major step back when it came to his overall style. This is Tupac's worst album. Tupac took a major step back on this project as his style got very tiresome early on. His flow is uninteresting for the most part, which greatly highlights his repetitious subject matter. I feel like that's pretty simple to grasp, but some people just didn't understand that. Like this guy, he said, how can you take a major step back when it's his second album? This is probably one of the dumbest comments that I've ever seen in my life. How you take a major step back when it's his second album? Now, music professor, your comment would have made sense if I would have said that Tupac took a major step back on his first album. Now that doesn't make sense. But since it's his second album, I feel like his rapping ability was subpar compared to the previous album. What do you not understand? And the fact that two people like this comment, all three of y'all dumb. This is insane. Here's another guy. This was crazy too. Sean Cutter says, it was his second album. It's called Progression. I said, no way you commented this and thought it made sense. This dude talking about some take your time. I gotta take my time to understand your dumbass comment? It was his second album. It's called Progression. If I'm somebody that believes that he didn't progress on his second album, it wasn't progression. Just because somebody makes two albums doesn't mean the second one is automatically gonna be a progression from the first one. I just cannot believe how dumb people are in my comment section. This is all over. I'm gonna have unlimited content if y'all just gonna keep being stupid. Like, what? Here's music professor commented this twice. He commented this bullshit 2 times. Tupacalypse Now was his first album. This was his second. How is this a step back? How are you not understanding what I'm saying in the review? Like, how can your name is the music professor and you can't understand me saying Tupac took a major step back on his second album? How does this not make sense? Am I in a Twilight Zone right now? He literally said Tupacalypse Now was his first album. Yes! This was his second. Yes! And I feel like he took a step back. That's just like, I don't know, a sequel to a video game wasn't better than the first one. That's all I'm saying. Okay, now that malarkey is out the way, let's get into the people that expose themselves as Tupac fans that don't actually listen to his music. So this dude says, wait, ain't this his first album? Bro, stop. And I'm like, you don't even know which album it is, but you're telling me to stop? How are you telling me to stop and talking about some, wait, ain't this his first one? No, it's his second album. But I'm the person that needs to stop? You just exposed yourself, sir. Thank you very much. Come again. Strictly for My Ends is Tupac's second album, people. It's not his first one. It's his second one. This dude says, this is his greatest album for the fact that he gave balance, not contradiction. Good and bad, night and day. Imagine if hip hop had followed this formula, you would get good and bad instead of constant bad. Balance is the key to life. Now, for those of you that didn't watch my previous Tupac video or my review on the album Strictly for My Ends, I pointed out the fact that he contradicted himself on that album with the songs Keep Your Head Up and I Get Around. In the song Keep Your Head Up, Tupac is basically chastising men that treat women badly on a multitude of levels. This is leaving them to raise babies by themselves, sexually assaulting them, calling them out their name. He basically talks about black women in the song Keep Your Head Up as if they're queens and they deserve to be treated as such. This does not reflect the concept of the song I Get Around, where he's just using them for sex. That contradicts the message of the song Keep Your Head Up. He also contradicted himself when he's saying that black folks need to overthrow the oppressor and that our oppressors are the reason why our communities are so bad. He then turns around and robs and kills those same black people on the song Struggling. That is another contradiction on the album. The reason why I can point out Tupac's contradictions is because his messages were call to action. Tupac was not just about entertainment, he was also about making real change in the real world. So if you're somebody who's preachy in their music, you contradicting yourself is not gonna be a good thing. Now, do I completely dislike Tupac for doing this? Absolutely not. Because at the end of the day, I'm somebody that mainly enjoys the music, and the music that I did enjoy on Strictly for My Ends was enjoyable. I still think that the song Keep Your Head Up is a great song, but I cannot ignore the contradictions. That is my stance on the album Strictly for My Ends. I also understand that Tupac was a young man and that we as human beings contradict ourselves. I understand that as well. That does not erase the fact that he contradicted himself on the album. So with that being said, people like this guy right here, they did not listen to the album because he said that it's balance. No, it's actually not balance. It's a contradiction. That's what it is. Tupac was not showing you like good and evil. No, he was preaching a message on the album. And when that message is then followed up with a message that doesn't coincide with it, that's a contradiction, ladies and gentlemen. So I said, you just proved you didn't actually listen to the album. He preached to the listener on this album. You can't give sermons with conflicting messages. This is where his contradictions lie. He says, I hear balance, and some people need preaching to. I responded by saying, you didn't listen to the album if you're talking about balance. Hypocrisy is when you say a belief and then go against it. That's not what balance is. So this is somebody who just talking. This is what a lot of y'all do. Y'all just talk. Y'all don't actually listen to music. I am somebody who listens to the music. I be listening to these albums and I listen to each song 4 to 5, maybe sometimes I listen to songs 10 times in order to truly grasp everything about it. So when you talk to me, you just can't say stuff out of your ass. It's not gonna work. Not only do I listen to the music constantly in each song 5-6 times, I write reviews. I write long reviews on albums. And on Strictly for My Ends specifically, I wrote a long review. So you're not going to be able to just come around my channel and come around me and just talk random shit. It's not going to work. He says, surely you don't understand this is about the message, not the actions. And then I said, yep, you just keep proving that you don't listen to Tupac. As he was an advocate for change, this was a known fact about Tupac. This dude literally tried to sit up here and say, it's about understanding the message, not actions. I thought y'all were Tupac fans. Tupac was all about action. What are you talking about? And here we have another person. I haven't heard Pac say he robbing or killing someone. Congratulations. You didn't listen to the album. Listen to the song Struggling, which is about Tupac and the Live Squad robbing and killing people in their community as a way to survive. That's literally what the song Struggling is about. You have a Tupac fan talking about, I never heard Pac rap about robbing or killing somebody. The same album he literally did. Bro, y'all Tupac fans, whew, man, what is wrong with y'all, man? This guy says, Pac made music on how he felt. He said, one day I might feel like F the world. The next day I wake up with a lot of optimism. His albums were based on his feelings. And then I said, I honestly believe a large majority of you didn't actually listen to the album. The difference is that Pac was very preachy and wanted change. If you're someone preaching a positive message that then contradicts that very message, it should be called out. A lot of people are trying to tell me that you don't understand Pac, man. One day he was F the world and the next day he was positive. That's not on the album though. That's what y'all don't understand. Y'all don't listen to this man's music. Nah, he said this. I'm a huge Pac fan. This was a part of his method. There were just days where he felt some type of way, it reflects in his music too. There are some songs where he's real emotional. You can hear it. Again, you're continuing to prove that you didn't listen to the album. You're just proving that he contradicted himself, especially on this album. Because even though he's waking up with these different emotions, when he's saying preachy messages with a call to action feel, he contradicts that message. So I'm saying you're just proving that he contradicted himself, especially on this album. The reason why it's an issue is because he preached to the listener in a call to action way. When someone tries to guide you with a sermon, it's contradictory when they go against the very message that they preached before. He then says, yeah, I never said he didn't. So if you saying that you never said that he didn't contradict himself, what is this conversation? Why would you feel the need to try to convince me that sometimes he just wake up in a bad mood and other days he wake up in a good mood? Why are you trying to convince me of this? And then he's talking about you arguing with yourself. Are you kidding me? Bro, you wouldn't, if you understood what I was saying about him contradicting himself, you wouldn't even be in the comment section. And you're basically trying to convince me that he didn't contradict himself. Are y'all serious? I'm telling you why he did it that way. Besides, what rapper don't do that? He's far from the only one. Now, I want to make another video because there are a lot of hip hop fans that says every rapper contradicts themselves. This is not true. In order for a rapper to contradict themselves, they have to preach a belief that they stand on and then go against that belief. That doesn't happen with a lot of rappers. And there's going to be an example that somebody tried to give on this video. But another thing he said in his comment is that he said he never said that Pac didn't contradict himself. And he told me, I'm telling you why he contradicted himself. What? Like, what, bro? Like, come on. I'm telling you why. The fact is that he contradicted himself. Like, what is we doing here, bro? And then I said, when you're someone who's really about change, your messages have to be clear and concise, which Tupac's wasn't. You don't understand the difference between a rapper that simply highlights what happens in their community to a rapper that actually wants change. He then says he was only 24, freshly 25. He really didn't live long enough to really push for the changes he wanted to see. You can't set the rules on whether a person can do this and that. That's your opinion. He was a kid with the mentality above most of his peers. And I literally said, y'all just disagree to disagree. But you don't even understand that you're agreeing with me. Thanks for clarifying that he was someone that wanted change. Because he said he didn't live long enough to push for the changes he wanted to see. But he was someone who wanted change. Thank you for agreeing with what I've been saying. It's just like what I honestly feel and what I've honestly been feeling like for a long time is that when y'all hear a black person, a black man specifically, making sense about something, y'all honestly feel like y'all gotta just hate or go against what I'm saying. This has been happening for a while because some people be feeling like, oh, you're just Mr. Right. You're just goody two shoes. No, that's not how. No, I'm just somebody that listens to the music and just gives an opinion on the music I listen to. That's it. I don't have no vendettas against anyone. Y'all are not used to a black voice giving an honest and critical opinion. That makes sense. Y'all just instantly want to go against it. And I feel like y'all doing that because I'm black. I honestly feel that way. These are majority black men in my comment section trying to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not even highlighting all the comments of I gotta single y'all out. Black men that are in my comment section talking about some, where you from? You probably ain't even from the hood. Grew up on the north side of St. Louis my whole life. I know exactly what Tupac is talking about when it comes to the community. And then some of y'all, here's another thing. When I do my reviews, I talk with a formal voice. And the reason why I do this is to get my point across. For this video, I'm not reading a script, so I'm talking in my normal voice. So a lot of people feel like when I talk in my review voice, oh, the white people done got a hold of you. Why you talking like that? Why you sound like that? Why you talk that way? Because I'm giving a formal review and I want to get my point across. When I'm reviewing something, I don't want to talk to y'all like I'm talking like this because I'm not going to get my point across clearly and concise. Even though I could be getting my point across in this commentary video right here, it may not be as clear as when I talk formally. But a lot of y'all feel like, oh, you trying to appeal to white people. No, I'm just trying to make great content that you can understand. Obviously, most of y'all don't understand it. I just think this is a problem with just us as black people in general. For real, bro. Our mentality and the way that we think and how we feel like we can't criticize somebody because they're black is stupid. It really is. And like I said, I don't hate Tupac. I don't hate none of the artists that I talk about. But when I see contradictory and hypocrisy, I'm gonna call it out. That's what I'm gonna do. But let's keep it going. I went on a little rant right there. Let's get into more people that didn't listen to the album. Okay, this guy says about Keep Your Head Up and I Get Around. He told 1,000 times the difference between a woman and other girls, the B word. You just have to listen instead of making dumb takes. And I literally said he didn't differentiate the two on neither song. Thanks for proving that you didn't listen to the album. On the songs Keep Your Head Up and I Get Around, he did not say anything like, this is for the real women that are not bitches. He didn't say that, because on the song Keep Your Head Up, the same women that are classified as bitches are the women that he's talking about on the song. You know how I know this? Because he later made a song called I Never Call You Bitch Again, which is him apologizing for calling women bitches and hoes, which is what he did on the song Wonder Why They Call You Bitch on the album All Eyes on Me. So the women that he's talking about on the track Wonder Why They Call You Bitch is the women that he's talking about on Keep Your Head Up, because he's saying that the men that dog women out, those are the women that he was referring to, which are the men that dog women out. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all don't listen to this man's music. Y'all are these huge Pac fans, and you just don't know nothing. Y'all just saying stuff. This dude says he physically fought for black people, and the people he talked about was his enemies, and he spoke on black people turning on him, but you wouldn't know. Now, on the album Strictly for My Ends, he does have songs on the album where he's talking about black people that oppose him, black people that are jealous of him. But there's also a song on the album where he just talks about robbing and killing black people. He does not specifically say that these black people are his enemies or people who are jealous of him, which is on the song Struggling. I then say, congratulations, you didn't listen to the album. There's a song on the album where he didn't differentiate between enemies and civilians. And then he says, I did. If you know Pac's life, then you know what's going on and who and what he was doing with his art at the time. And I literally said, so you didn't listen to the music. I'm talking about what's being said on the album. A lot of people have been referencing an interview that I have soon to see, because it was somebody who was supposed to provide me a link and they never did. But they're always talking about how Pac was saying in this interview how he differentiated between bitches and real women, and how he differentiated between enemies and civilians. I need to see this interview. Where is this interview at? Another person also said that Pac talked about how he contradicted himself on Strictly for My Ends. I need to see that interview. I need to see Tupac say that he contradicted himself on Strictly for My Ends. If anybody can provide the link to that interview, I would greatly appreciate it. He says, yes, I do listen to his music and understand his work as well as his story. And then I said, so then you will know that his messages are contradictory on this album, as he didn't differentiate on certain aspects on particular songs. His last comment was, you're going to keep saying the same thing? Yeah, I'm going to keep saying the same thing because you're not understanding it. You didn't listen to the album, bruh. So yeah, that was the end of that. Now here's the last one that I wanted to highlight, and it's another comment that proves that y'all do not listen to the music. It's either you don't listen to the music or you do listen to the music and you just don't comprehend what's being said on the songs. So this was on YouTube, and this guy says, bro, you sound dumb holding on to the contradiction line. You can say the same for every rapper. Biggie said a line, I'm not Tupac, I get around. Yet in other songs, he raps about being a player. Listen to all Pac songs and you will understand what he means. From Keep Your Head Up to I Get Around, Why They Call You a B to Never Call You a B Again. You will get it. And I literally said, wow, y'all just keep proving that y'all don't really listen to these artists. On that Biggie track, the one that he's referencing is called Can I Get With You? On that Biggie track, he's speaking in the perspective of a woman he's trying to get with. She's basically telling Biggie she's not a hoe, which leads to her saying, I'm not Tupac, I don't get around. That's the wordplay Biggie uses. So when you listen to the song Can I Get With You, there's a verse where Biggie is rapping in the perspective of a woman he's trying to get with. He even changes how his voice sounds. And the girl is saying, I'm not Tupac, I don't get around. This dude literally said, Biggie said he's not Tupac, he don't get around. Woo-wee! Woo-wee! Hip hop fans, hip hop community, oh my God. Here we go again. Y'all just keep proving that y'all don't listen to these artists. I then ended the comment by saying Tupac, on the other hand, blatantly contradicted himself, which he did. This guy then says, you just don't get it. It's like a gangbanger preaching to the youth to not get involved in gangs. Pac is essentially a player who's trying to change his ways, but is in too deep. This dude is literally creating his own scenario. That is not what was going on the album Strictly for My Ends. There is not a single concept on the song that reflects what this guy's talking about. Pac is essentially a player who's trying to change his ways. Where is that on Strictly for My Ends? So he's advising the youth to not follow his footsteps and choose a better path. That is not what? This dude just created his whole concept that doesn't even exist. It seems contradictory, but if you listen to his interviews, then you will know they're referencing these interviews again. I need to see these interviews where Tupac is saying these things. Also, even if the interviews exist, I'm specifically talking about the album. I ended it all by saying it doesn't just seem contradictory. It is contradictory. By me saying this doesn't mean I have a disliking for Pac. I'm just stating the obvious. I also commend him for trying to be positive, but this doesn't erase the blatant hypocrisy. Yeah, man. This is another banger right here, guys. I just gotta keep exposing y'all, bro. Y'all don't listen to these artists. Y'all getting y'all feelings about, I don't know, nonsense. You know, when you, like I said before, when you hear a black man give his opinion precisely and concisely, hey, that's a bar. Y'all feel some type of way. I don't know why y'all feel this way. I really hope that y'all heal from that, because I don't like that. I have no ill intentions about nothing that I review, as I'm just giving you my honest opinion all the time. I don't have an agenda. I'm just somebody who listens to the music. I love listening to the music. It's my favorite thing to do. And when I do listen to the music, I'm going to give you my honest opinion about what I'm hearing. I'm never going to sugarcoat my opinions. You can disagree, but at least be logical in your disagreement, because for the most part, a lot of y'all are not logical, and a lot of y'all prove that you don't listen to the music that you're so critical about. So with that being said, I'm going to end the video off right here. I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. GB signing out.